We're back.
Hey. Hi.
I always get hi.
Hi.
I always get
A little nervous or a little...
No, I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna say that when I listen back to this, if we're pulling a clip together, and then I start with a yell, "We're back." It's really jarring. But I just want to bring the excitement. I just want to let people know.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Yeah, exactly.
To the Conscious Cowboys.
It's very sexy, like a sultry voice.
Oh, I thank you.
Oh.
No, I saw in the YouTube comments, always a nice read. Someone was like,
"Oh, they like your voice.
I love your voice. Please do an ASMR intro." Welcome to the Conscious Cowboys podcast. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah.
We're experiencing a heat wave here in San Diego.
I think everyone in California is actually talking about this heat wave.
It's something else. So
it's awesome. I'm down for this.
My wedding's coming up in a few weeks. More on that later. And Madison was like, we were driving yesterday, and she's like, I really hope it's like this. I hope you get a heat wave on your wedding. And I was like, what? Because you like that?
Yeah,
like,
that is why. Because I'm wearing a strapless dress and I don't want to bring a fucking jacket.
Well, I don't want to be cold, but I don't want it to be a heat wave where I'm dripping
No,
sweat.
of course not. Of course. But, it would be nice like later in the day for it to be like a warmish night.
Yeah.
With like not a chill. Because then you think something could happen. We could go night swimming and it's warm out.
That could be fun.
That would be sexy. Yeah. So that's what I pray for.
All right. Okay.
You get the vibe now.
But I don't want to be sitting there sweating and like,
no,
we know my mother.
It'll be a tasteful heat.
Can you imagine
a blessed
my mother?
Heat. Yeah, I can.
She would
bring a fan.
Tess! We can't be
good.
dealing with that. I love you, Mom, but no.
Yeah.
So we've got some fun things on the agenda for today. And one that we're going to start with is Would You Rather?
Yeah, we wanted to lighten the mood because we didn't have a pod episode last week. And we were inspired by Emma Chamberlain recently did this. Or so my Instagram showed me that she recently did it. Who knows? And I thought, how fun would that be? Because Tess and I know each other so well that we know exactly what to ask.
I was coming up with these and Philip was with me. If you don't know, Philip is my fiance. And I was like, Philip, like, we got to go for Madison's like weak spots. Like, what does...
Dude, mine are not strong. I feel like I have three. So I feel excited to hear what your guys' are because you had a twosome.
Crazy. We have one, two,
yeah, but
three,
Phil
4,
is good off the mark. He can come
is.
up with some where you're just like, damn, he's been observing for many months and he knows what to ask.
Okay, well, I guess because I have more, let me get started.
Yeah.
I'll start pretty vanilla.
Okay.
Would you rather give up hiking or yoga for the rest of your life?
You fuckers.
We already know the
yoga.
Answer. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Hiking's
isn't
in your
as
DNA.
easy as you would think though, but you're right. Hiking is in my DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's what you go for as your, like, you don't go to yoga as your like mental release. Like you go to, I mean, you do, but it's
different because it's like
you need to
indoors.
Be outside. Yes.
Yeah. That's
okay,
right.
Cool. Go ahead.
Okay. Would you rather not poop for the next 10 days or eat raw steak every night for 8 days?
I just feel like I would rather not poop for 10 days. Like that would suck. But eating raw meat, no. It's a no.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I know
let me just preface, it could be like very high quality steak that you're obviously not going to get sick from. But it's like what do they call that?
I know.
They do it in Europe.
I was about to ask
you. It's not tartare, is it?
Yeah.
I thought the camera just turned off.
I did too. Steak.
Heard some clicking over there.
Okay, no. Steak tartare, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never had it, so I don't know. I remember my brother and his wife, they like to go to Michelin star restaurants. That's like their big expenditure every year. And they said that was one of the tougher meals to get down. Like they're like, we're adventurous, but yeah, I think it's a mental thing.
I could see that.
What do you answer this too? Like, what would you choose? Probably eating it raw.
I would eat the raw steak.
Yeah, you would.
Because it's only for 8 days.
So
for dinner, okay, I can have. Yeah, I would rather.
You can have a bite for dinner and be like, I'm full.
No.
You have to eat the whole thing.
You have to eat a whole thing. Like it's a meal size. But you could have like other things with it, crackers, whatever they zhuzh it up with.
I don't know. I just think like meat is a tough sell for me sometimes.
No, I know. That's why I did this one because I was like, this is gonna hit.
Okay. Would you rather your future husband have a stinky breath 24/7 or have a tongue that doesn't go further than his front teeth? Both are mouth related. Both are not ideal. Have fun picking your answer.
For the I'll have to choose the tongue, not going further than the teeth.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I cannot deal with people with bad
No,
breath.
I
That
feel
is
sick every time
like
we
I
went
feel
to
like
kiss.
hot right now. Like that makes me so grossed out. Like me and Tess talk about halitosis at least
All the
once a week. Very frequently. And that is just, we care about oral health a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm just so sorry if that's like a medical thing that you deal with, but just try to get it under control. I don't know how you can, but that's just something that I just don't like.
Yeah, that's fair. We're all allowed to have things
We
we
are.
don't like.
That's
you know?
one of them where I'm just like, that is a hard no for me.
Yeah, I would have chosen the same thing. Like
we can work around
work
the
around
tongue thing, okay?
At least he has a
Let's
tongue,
get creative.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, the stinky breath would be such a
Oh, no.
Okay, why don't you hit me with your second one?
These are so lame. Would you rather sit at the beach in dog poop or be in our apartment all day? You can't leave it. And it's hot outside. It's gorgeous. Beautiful.
Oh, like I'm missing out if I don't
Correct.
go outside. I'm going to take the dog poop because I can go in the water and walk the beach and like not spend as much time on the towel. But she's bringing this up because yesterday we were at the beach for so many hours and we were sitting there and we're like, it's like such a beautiful beach, but my God, it really smells like shit out here. Like, what the fuck?
And to be fair, it's part dog beach. There are dogs
Yes.
around, so we just thought the wind is blowing.
Yeah.
We're getting a sniff every now and then. But we are indeed on top of dog poop.
Yeah, so like it was so hot, you guys, and we decided to bring Madison's little umbrella versus our big sunshade. So like the thing that I have, like it's almost like this waterproof picnic blanket. It's sitting on the sand and it's getting hot. Like the blanket itself is getting hot. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'm smelling it so strong. And we kept having to move our chairs back to be in the shade. And every time I'd move it, I'd get the strongest whiff. And I'm like, no, it's on me. It's somewhere here. And then we're smelling the towel and it's lo and behold under the towel. But the most confusing thing was there was no visual signage of shit. It was just the smell.
It wasn't like we put our towels on a pile of shit.
No, we put it on blank sand thinking nothing of it. And it wasn't until it started getting hotter that we could really start to smell it. It took 3 sanitary wash cycles on our washing machine.
Extra hot.
To get this out of here. Like, I think it was good by wash 2, but then the third one was just for my own sanity.
Okay. Yeah, it was almost as if someone just smeared it all over the surface area of where we were laying. And let me just add, bringing the small umbrella yesterday was the wrong move.
Absolutely.
As well.
I had no idea. You were like, we'll probably be there for like 2 hours. I was thinking,
I genuinely thought that.
Then everybody and their mom showed up.
Yeah, and then we're there
boom.
for 4.5 hours.
Which I enjoyed, but the sun was gnarly.
Dude, I got cooked.
Okay. This one really speaks to Madison, everybody, because if you know Madison, you know she goes to the grocery store a lot.
Oh, I just love a good grocery shop.
Okay, so Madison.
Okay.
Would you rather have to go grocery shopping on a random Tuesday afternoon, completely nude?
Oh, no.
You're the only one who's nude. You're not going to get in trouble, but you're nude. Or every single time for the rest of your life, you go grocery shopping, you're wearing this turtleneck, itchy wool sweater. Every time it doesn't matter if it's 110 degrees outside or not, you're wearing that itchy ass sweater.
Every day for the rest of my life?
No, every time you go grocery shopping.
Okay, that's different.
Is it?
It is different because I could get really strategic with this one. I could
You
go
only
grocery shopping
early in the morning
once
or late
every
at
2
night?
weeks.
Okay. That's a fair one. Yeah. You're like, I'll order my groceries online. I know you don't want to ever do that though.
No, I like actually going, but that's an option that I didn't even think of. I think turtleneck.
Okay.
Yeah, hard sell to walk up naked to Jimbo's.
Have you ever owned like an itchy wool sweater? Have you ever even
I
tried
don't
one
honestly
on?
think I have.
Honestly,
I don't
it's
know.
the worst feeling. I'm really affected by clothes. Like tags really bug me if I have them in the inside of my shirt. Like material that's not soft on my skin just makes like it's almost like I can't function.
I understand that.
So I don't know. I mean, it would be absolutely brutal to walk through that grocery store completely naked, but it's one time in my life versus every time I go to the grocery store for the rest of my life. I guess you'd get used to the sweater, right?
Oh, it's for the rest of my life.
Yes.
Yeah, you could get used to the sweater, and maybe I would become a speed demon in the grocery store. I just know I hit all the marks.
Yeah.
I map it out before I go in there. I put that fucking sweater on, and I just do the damn thing.
Okay.
I go
but
really
you love
early in the
grocery
morning.
shopping, so I thought that would really
that would
fuck
really
it up for
ruin
you.
it. It would hinder my experience. But I think that maybe I would grow accustomed to the wool sweater, and it would just be a thing.
You just get over it.
Because going naked, I don't know. That's a tough sell because I know the guy behind the fucking counter where I get my salmon every week.
His favorite customer.
He tells me, yeah.
And Madison, okay, so we can walk to one of our local markets and we have to cross an intersection, and Madison.
I'd have to be naked doing that? Oh, absolutely not. Wool sweater.
Madison doesn't even want to go there. Like, we wear little cotton bodysuits and stuff to go work out in. She doesn't even want to walk there by herself wearing that. Like, it's such a thing. So that's why I knew this would be a tough one.
Yeah, that is a tough one. That's a good one. That's creative. Walking across a big intersection to me is so awkward.
Oh, yes. Big intersections.
Yes. Yeah.
Everyone's looking at you.
Kind of big.
And I think the reason, I don't care if people's eyes are on me, but I think it's the idea that everybody's waiting for me. I don't like to feel like people are waiting because of something I'm doing.
I think maybe it's the eyes on me I don't like because I'm the focal point. What else are they looking at? They're waiting for the light. There's a single person walking across the street in this little outfit.
I just feel like it doesn't matter if everyone's looking at you. It's just that they have to.
Yeah.
That's the part I don't like.
Oh.
Because I'm keeping them there because the crosswalk is a full 35 seconds.
Right. And it's funny because it's like, it's not even that I care that I think like, oh my God, for safety reasons, some car could like blow through the intersection. It's not even that. I'm just like, oh my God, are too many people staring at me right now?
Oh my God, can they see me?
Yeah. Fuck, that's so ridiculous. Okay, are you ready for one?
Oh, you have more. Okay.
I just have one more.
Okay.
Okay, this is so ridiculous. Would you rather have to watch the new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie every night for the next 10 years or have fruit flies in your house for the next 30 years?
I hate both with passion.
Exactly.
Oh, no. I have to watch that movie every night for 10 years?
Every night, no distraction. You can't have your phone. You have to be fully present watching the movie.
I have to watch it for 10 years?
Yeah, every night. Or fruit flies for 30 years.
To be honest, this is so bad. I'm going fruit fly.
Dude, I would go fruit fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I would actually go insane.
And the reason, okay, we were editing one of the episodes a few weeks ago and I actually saw a fruit fly by the lens. And it just, yes, and it confirmed they're an issue. And I have one of these LED plugins in our kitchen by the fruit bowl, which we don't even keep anything in anymore because we can't, because fruit flies.
Yes.
But I took it off this morning. Oh my God.
Were there a lot
colony.
On it?
Yes. I have to get a replacement for it. It's disgusting.
Oh my gosh.
So they are running rampant here. We should just order
a lot.
Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah. We'll get our grocery.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
But the fruit flies are just such a thing right now in San Diego. And we don't even keep any food out. We don't keep like our sink gets wiped out. We're that crazy, you guys. Yeah. We dry our sink.
We're very clean.
There's no reason that these should be thriving in this environment, but they are. The only thing I can think is our plants. But I don't even think they go for that. So I'm not really sure. I don't even know what they live off of here.
Yeah, I actually don't know either. And you know what? This is a fun fact for us. I'm going to remind us of this. And for listeners, is that you can put lavender and rosemary around your house and it's supposed to ward them off.
Let's go.
Yeah, I know. I just need to buy. Or I just go on our nightly walk because all that shit is around. I just need to actually remember it.
Madison.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be dripping sweat every night of your life while you're sleeping, or every night you're sleeping, you're in a sandy bed? Ooh, that's bad.
That is a bad one. Did Phil come up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
a
I
good
was like,
one.
Oh, how do you even choose?
That's a tough one.
Both are horrible, but I'll let you answer first. I think I just made up my mind on one.
Okay. Well, actually, if I'm just doing off the cuff answer, I'd rather be sweaty.
Oh.
I know. I just cannot with the sand, I don't think.
Okay.
Am I in a pool of my sweat or is it just like...
No, you're dripping.
And it's a constant drip for 8 hours?
Like...
Or you just wake up and you're like, oh my gosh. Okay. That's fine. If I just like wake up in the morning to my alarm and I'm just wet, then I'm okay.
It doesn't go like that though. Have you ever been hot when you're sleeping?
I mean, you know.
You are up. I mean, you turn over and you're just like, ah, and you throw your covers off and you're just like, there's no fucking escape right now. I'm so miserable. I'm not even sleeping. Like, you don't even get into REM, it feels like. I choose sand.
Sandy bed then, because then I'll wear pants and try
socks.
to avoid it.
Yeah,
and you make peace with the sand, I guess. That sucks. That's a good one.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
And this one, you know, hits on your weak spot.
Oh God.
Okay. Where is it? Oh. Okay, Madison, would you rather every time you laugh, you do an audible fart, or every time you go to the bathroom, you have like not good time? Like it's we all know what I'm talking about, right? The D word. Yeah. Every time you go to the bathroom, it's D, or every time you laugh, you fart, and it's audible. And Madison laughs a lot, you guys. Like, she is
Dude,
one
I'll
giggly
take the
person.
fucking bathroom one.
Really?
Yes, I laugh way too much for that to be happening. That is a fucking
Every time you go to
fear.
the bathroom, it's not good. It's like I'm trying to convince you to change your answer.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do
Okay.
that, because at least me going to the bathroom is in private.
I mean, kinda.
It is in private. If you're listening, what the fuck are you doing? Go away.
Well, sometimes, you know, if you like,
Okay, I wouldn't say never, but I don't even remember the last time I've had to go to the bathroom unless it's a fucking emergency outside of my house or someone else's house that I know.
are you kidding?
I rarely go. Yeah, we know this about me. I can literally hold
you'll
it.
hold it.
For way
She'll
too
suck
long.
it back up.
Yeah, and then you're just like, well, where is it? I don't know. But yeah, no, that's a no for me.
No, can I share this story? Have we already talked about this on the podcast?
I don't know.
About when we were on the walk and had to visit the hotel?
Let's rehash it.
Oh my God, you guys, we were out on our nightly walk and something came over me. I honestly think it was a really stressful time.
It was a really stressful time.
We had a lot going on family related, and maybe work was really stressful at that time for me too. And there was just like a lot of transition. Is that the AC making noise? I think so.
We keep looking at the camera.
Everyone was like, why are they staring?
The camera's making a noise. There's some clicking.
Yeah, but we went on this walk and all of a sudden I'm like, you guys know the feeling when you're like, I have to
get
go
hot.
now.
Yes.
It's not even, I need a bathroom and I need to go now.
It's coming.
And I'm like, Madison, seriously, like, this is not good. And she's like, okay. Like, let's walk up towards the businesses. And I'm like, no, like, it was a bridesmaid moment where she's like going in the street. That's what it felt like. And I go up to this tiny motel thing. It's like really artsy and different. I've never seen a motel like this. The reception is outside. And I'm like, fuck, I'm expecting a lobby and there's no lobby. And there's businesses, but it's like none of them are going to be open. Our little town is really sleepy. None of them are open. So I go and I'm like, do you have a bathroom that I can use right now? It's an emergency. And the woman is flustered. She's probably never been asked this before at this place of work. And she's like, oh my God. So she has to let me into someone's hotel room to go to the bathroom. Oh my God.
Meanwhile,
there's no public bathroom for them.
From my perspective, I just see Tess go in, and then all of a sudden she comes out, and this woman is walking her up the stairs, and Tess goes into a room. And then I just text her, and I was like, I'll be down by the beach. Just come and get me when you're ready.
Oh my God. That's happened to me like maybe 3 times in my life where I've had this like, oh no feeling.
Yes. But the woman asked Tess, she was like, well, are you staying here? And Tess was like, no, I just really had to go to the bathroom. And she's like, oh, okay. That poor woman may be having to clean that after. Who knows?
I cleaned it.
Oh, okay.
There was supplies. There was nothing even there, guys.
You fucking would clean it, dude.
Of course. I literally I cleaned it and then I put the like this has been cleaned back on.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
I was just thinking, oh my God. The only other time I can really recall, I mean, there's 2. One was when I was a kid and on a walk by myself. Then another one was when there's this restaurant in our hometown that they serve like teppan food, right?
Ugh. So
and it's
gross.
a lot of butter and a lot of mystery oil. I don't even know what they use. And they like do all the veggies and the meat on
with
the grill.
the onion volcano and all that shit.
You get the gist. And we called it the colon cleanse. Like every time you go to this restaurant, you know, sure as shit, you're going to be going to the bathroom, like clearing yourself out. And and it was like one of the wasn't one of the first times I had been really in their household, but it was early on dating this person and like with his whole family.
Oh.
And we got back from the restaurant and I don't even think I walked into the house. I got straight into my car and I drove home at like the fucking speed of light. And he texted me, he's like, where did you go? Like I was I got out of their car and then I was gone, like almost like I vanished. And then he's like, where the fuck did you just go? And I was like, I'm so sorry. I honestly just had to go to the bathroom. He's like, that's so weird. You could have gone at my house. No,
I couldn't have.
Could not.
It was an emergency.
You don't understand what I just
don't
went
get
through. No.
Every time I laugh now, I think about that. I laugh way too much.
Because Philip and I were laughing. He was like, is it just like a little one? Or like, can people hear it? And I was like, no, obviously people can hear it. Like, we're going,
no,
Big
chance.
Daddies.
Yeah, no.
We have one from Philip.
Oh, okay, let's play
This one is not about pooping, which is good.
Yeah,
Ready?
everyone was about pooping.
Is it going to play on speaker?
It should.
Would you rather only be able to go 25 miles an hour everywhere you drive or hit every red light that you ever go through?
Yeah. I would say. Madison's audio
It was
message.
my reply back.
Your gasp got me so good. I would say, I mean, yours is.
I'd rather hit every red light because then I just take the freeway, which is actually really sad because we were discussing yesterday that I love to take the long way. Yeah. And I said in the car that if I were to be buried and I had a tombstone, I would hope it would say she liked to take the long way.
I think that's so cute. And I mean, you can still get cremated and we can make you like a little.
You could put on my urn?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, I don't know. We never have to.
Hopefully, we just all die at the same time.
God, I cried earlier this morning because we were talking about death, like Philip and I were.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started crying because I felt like really emotional. It's like, I don't want any of us to go.
I know.
That's just
our
reality.
I know.
Sorry if that's triggering for anybody. Anyways, let's move on to
our other segment.
Yeah. What do we have?
Okay. So we had a fun idea to do cowboy trends. What is trending in our household right now? That's basically the gist of it. What are we trying to focus on? Anything along lines, clothing trends, whatever you want, belief systems.
Great. Can you kick us off?
Yeah. Okay. So me and my cousin Kelly, obviously.
Oh my God.
We were talking about
Hi,
this.
Kelly. We don't go an
you
episode
are a
without
star.
you.
No, I mention her every single day in some way.
People must feel like, is Kelly real? Like we have to provide evidence that she's real.
Dude, I have a whole post on my Instagram where she's in it, but not many people follow me anyway. But one day she'll make it. She's in one of our carousels on Cowboys. The back
yes,
of
she
her.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so me and her chat about life every single day, and we talk about incremental change and continuous improvement, basically. And we go through, we detail our day of like, for example, last week I was really drawn to going to the beach at night because it's been super nice and I want to swim. That's such a cool activity to add into my daily life. Like as a ritual, I like that. And she asked me, she was like, you know what we call that in our restaurant? And I was like, no, what? And she said Kaizen, which is like a principle that they have, I believe. I should have read more on it, but like in Japanese culture. And so it's continuous improvement. Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking, whenever I do things like that, I just think Kaizen. And it's a cool practice. So like I already have a lot of things that I add into my day that are not work related because I think that that's just really important. If you have space to do so, it just makes life way better.
Way more full.
Yeah. And it just feels like you're living it on your own terms versus working for, quote unquote, the man. So that's my first one.
Okay. I love that.
Thanks.
Let's pull up the list. I always get sad when we have to use the phone as our list, but that just is what it is. It's our modern day and age. I could make a card to use.
We did make cards for a little bit, but this is just easier. Let's be real.
Okay. This is a big one for me right now, is not fixating on things.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? Whether it's something that someone else said, something I've done in the past, a physical symptom I'm experiencing. We're not going to fixate on it. We're going to let it go. Mm-hmm. We're going to experience it for a second and then goodbye.
Love that. That's healthy. I feel like that literally will help with absolving any like disease within the body. Because I feel like when we hold on to shit, back pain,
It's gonna
cancer. Yeah. I know. So that's good. Great. Okay. Next one for me. This is a big one for me. Is being an observer of my feelings and how I walk through life versus experiencing them in the moment. So, for example, I'm feeling anger. I don't want to feel the heat of anger. I want to observe it instead and just kind of learn from it versus be kind of drawn down by it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of look at it from like a bird's eye view.
Okay.
Like from a perspective of like, okay, this is happening and now I can extract meaning from it versus like being so like wrapped up in it that I don't understand what's actually happening.
So let's do like a little real life scenario.
Okay.
Something makes you angry. It's someone. It's me. Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty rare, right?
Yeah, I feel like let's use, I like never am angry, to be
Okay.
honest. So let's use a different feeling. Like what feeling do I feel a lot? Misunderstood?
No,
I don't know if that's
I feel
right.
like you feel like unsettled.
Okay, yes, that's a good one. Yes, relevant.
Okay. So you feel unsettled. I don't know. Maybe I want to go, like maybe I need to get out of the house. Maybe I just need to read my book and sit down. I don't know. Instead of diving deeper into that, what are you doing?
Well, so instead of that like overcoming me and I'm feeling bad about it of like, why am I feeling this way? I take action and I ask myself like, what is this? Like, how can I move with this feeling to the best of my ability versus be upset that I'm feeling this way? Because a lot of times I get hard on myself of like, why am I feeling like this? Like, look around. Why are you feeling this way? Your life is great. And then I just think, well, no, we're feeling this for a reason. Like, this is helpful for your evolution as a human. So let's go do something. Like, let's look at it from like outside looking in, and you're having this experience, and what are we going to do with it?
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
I think it also has to do with like kind of like the zooming out perspective that we always talk about.
Yeah.
Because I seriously like catastrophizing is so real and it causes so much anxiety, and I don't want to partake in that.
Dude, and then the anxiety causes a whole chain reaction of other things.
Right. Then nothing else is right. Like
Right, so
we were talking about this the other day. It's like one thing happens and then it's a domino effect of like, well, these 10 other things suck too. So let me just think about that too. And then you're in this black hole. You did it to yourself. I know.
Yeah. The other night I was laying there in bed and the visual I used was like, let's say something happened that I didn't like, right? Now my brain, it was like a magnet, like this long whip with magnets attached to it, trying to go back in my subconscious and pick up everything that has recently made me feel not great, that I did not like. And then it was like a train stop where I have to fucking stop at every single one and look at it in the eye and then go, okay, now I'm even more mad. Okay, let's go to this next one. And that, I don't want to be that way. And I caught myself doing it and it frustrated the hell out of me that I was even going there. And I just had to sit and be like, none of that is something that I can change right now or get clarity on or get answers on. And maybe it doesn't even matter in this moment.
Right. And I think that aids the point of being an observer of that happening within you. Because then you zoom out and you're like, okay, wait, this is my typical pattern. We're not going to go there anymore. We're going to have a different, the
typical patterns is so difficult. But when you can hit a little bit of a breakthrough on one pattern you typically do,
it feels so good.
It's empowering, and then you feel like, okay, I can start to really make some changes here.
Yes.
And not that you have to go in and change your very like essence, but there's definitely things that we all do that are not ideal. And
that are not serving us.
Yes.
You know what they are. We all know it.
Of course.
You can ignore them sometimes, but then sometimes you cannot.
And when you go in and you just chip at it a little bit and you start to break that attachment to your reaction or your pattern or your behaviors,
what a joy.
Difference. Yeah. I don't know. You guys heard me talk about what I went through in Yosemite, and something that I was really doing was fixating on my physical symptoms, right? I have really since made a huge fucking effort of not doing that.
And how does it feel?
I'm not really as bogged down.
That's good.
Like if my neck would hurt, I'd be like, oh my God, dude, my neck. Right? Oh, just like really play into it.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? The pain got louder.
Yes.
Obviously, there's times where you have to listen to your body.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, you can listen to it, hear it, and then on we go. Let's find a way out instead of just sitting in it.
Yeah, I think about this a lot, and maybe we've probably mentioned this, but a lot of times when I am experiencing something and then I say it out loud, it makes it worse or it makes it real. Yeah, it depends. Not every time, but if we're using the half dome example, me walking up the cables, and for a split second, I had a moment of panic of like, I want to turn around. I don't want to do this. And then I just thought, no, that was just a thought that entered your brain. We're not going to say it out loud because then it makes it real. And then everyone behind you is going to try to figure out some solution as to how we can turn you around. It's
going to go into motion.
And you've already decided, no, I want to keep going forward. Like that was just a split second thought. And I could even be smaller of like yesterday I had just like underlying headache for like 5 hours and I just didn't mention it. And it just would go away. And then sometimes I think about it and it come back and I'd be like, okay. And then it'd go away. But if I said like, God, I have the worst headache, then it's like, okay, we got to find aspirin. Like how bad is the headache? And then I'm focusing on this headache. So I just think, just keep it in. Not all the time. I don't want to like be bottled up, but you know.
But I think that we can use our best discretion here of like, what do you need to share and what is totally something that's temporary and you can just...
Right. And we're not perfect because sometimes oversharing just happens because it just feels good. It just feels good to like
be heard,
share.
And
yes.
to be known.
I can't be the only one experiencing this, please.
Yeah, I'm just saying as someone who really did a lot of oversharing, like TMI tests, and not because it was, you know, affecting others. Maybe it was, but it was really like, it was affecting me.
Yes.
A lot.
Right.
Did not need to be having those experiences as intensely as I was. That's my learning lesson.
That's good. I like it. Great. Okay, next is, I wrote down surprising myself. Doing things that I typically would not do because I think, you know, everyone has a narrative or an idea of who they are as a person. I think that's super healthy. I often ask or journal, like, who am I? And I just like write down values, all that. So important. But sometimes I can get stuck in my ways and I don't want to always think that I know best. I want to surprise myself and I want to make room for life to surprise me too. And sometimes your beliefs are reinforced. You go do something, you go out with someone and you're just like, I wanted to try it, but that wasn't a good idea. Okay, that's okay. But at least you tried it. Why the fuck not? When I'm 45 and I look back on this time, I'm going to be like, I'm so proud of that. You did it. So that's mine.
Okay. I'm just thinking about
because sometimes you do surprise yourself and you're just like, oh, I kind of like that. And I don't know why, but I'm just going to keep going for that.
Yeah. And you should.
Right.
Versus like convincing yourself that this doesn't align with.
Yes. Because we've talked about this on the pod. We can convince ourselves of fucking anything. I can convince myself that I have a headache right now.
Yes, me too. And then I'm like, I really need to go lay down.
Stop talking. Yeah, exactly.
So I actually learned that from one of my mentors. Speaking of like headaches, one of my mentors was like, I can talk myself out of a headache. And I was like, what? Now, this was such a new concept for me when she talked about it. And I was like, what?
I believe.
This was years ago. And she's like, yeah, I just visualize the tension that's behind my eyes and behind my eyebrows and on the top of my head and the base of my neck and behind my ears and in my jaw and at the back of my neck melting. And I just go through and I breathe into the space and I open it up and I give it permission to leave. And I was like, that is some woo-woo shit. And I tried it. And guess what, guys? If you're really mindful and the headache's not a migraine,
it works.
It works.
I think about that. That was very therapeutic. Even just, I was like really listening when you were doing that. And I was like, this is like ASMR of Tessa's voice. I'm down for this. But when I'm trying to go to bed at night, I really have to work on my sleep routine because I just want to be up all hours of the day.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know what that says about me, but I just do want to. love it. And so I'm just laying in bed and I turn my lights off, and some nights I just don't even read, and I just am like, okay, we need to convince ourselves that it's time for bed. And I just like close my eyes and lay on my back and imagine just like tidal wave like rushing over me, and like, you know, any other visualizations that I want, and it's really helpful.
Yeah. People will say like, well, what's meditating? Like, well, how do you like, I need guidance.
Right.
Like that's it, guys. Like that's one way to do it.
You can
There's
make
no
it up,
rule book.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even think about that when I'm hiking, is like, this is a straight up meditation. It's walking meditation. For me. Yeah.
Totally. Okay. Going with the flow. It is what it is. Let it ride. Like there's so many things that you can control. And, you know, if you have authority or the ability to make choices and decisions, then you should. But there's so much else that you cannot control, and that it's not worth trying to control, because it's energy that you don't need to be spending worried about X, Y, or Z. So let it ride is what it is.
Yes.
For example, here's a real life one, right?
Okay.
Getting married in a couple weeks. We've got people flying in from all over the world, quite literally. Where are they staying? In our apartment.
Specifically
really
in this surface area, which you can't see. But
like, you guys have no idea. Our apartment is not big. And I don't come from a household that hosts people. So hosting people is a newer thing for me, like within the past couple years. So it's still something I'm adjusting to, because it doesn't happen that often. But I love when people are here. But it happens to, like, if they were coming when I was not getting married, I think that my head would be in a very different space. But initially my head was like, oh my God, this is going to be way too much. And like, how am I going to, like, it's going to be so stressful to wake up and this, you know, like I really went in and spiraled. And then I realized, guess what, Tess? It doesn't fucking matter if you have people staying in your house, because this is probably going to be really fun. It's going to be amazing memories. Okay, so it's tight. Okay, we're using all the same bathrooms, and like there's laundry, and okay, it's so temporary.
Yeah.
And it's so good to share your home and your space and your time with other people that matter to you and your people. So let it flow. If your house is like kind of messy for 10 days, okay, it's kind of messy for 10 days.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like really having to remind myself, go with the flow. Like whatever happens on your wedding day, go with the flow. You can't control everything, and you're not supposed to.
No, because it'll just upset you to try to. I know.
Like, stop getting attached to these like outcomes of my house always needs to be perfectly clean, or like this day needs to go off totally smooth. Like, shit's probably going to be like, oh, didn't even think of that. Oops.
Yeah. And also to piggyback off of that, in connection to what I was just saying, is letting life surprise you.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know what any of this is going to be like.
No. And there's so much good that can come out of it. And also a lot of not so good, but that's also okay, because it just makes the good that much better. Yeah. It'll be a good experience, I think, for all of us, because like Tess, I did not grow up in a household where it was like, anyone can come over. It was like, no, we need to have the house perfect. Like, we need to look perfect when they come over. Yeah. And it needs to be like 2 to 3 months in advance. We know you're coming over.
Yeah. I'm trying to be a little bit more of like that open door policy. Like, of course you can come stay.
Yeah. I definitely need to soften into that more too, because I did not like that growing up. My household was like that. So if I want my life to look different, then I need to do things differently. And that's that.
Yeah. Like, the house can always get cleaned.
Right.
You know?
Right. It's okay to, you know, is it cohabitate? Yeah. With people. Right. With other people. And it'll be fine. And get out of your comfort zone and just.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have things be unpredictable for 10 days. That's it. 10 days. When is this ever going to happen in our lives again? This is fucking cool. Yeah. Okay. Next for me, I'm looking at my list and I'm like, God, I really was adding a lot to this over the past week. Okay. When something good happens to me, I want to allow myself to feel good. Because a lot of times, and I was just speaking about this yesterday with someone, is that things will be going well, but I'm always kind of like, man, should I not feel good about this right now? Because what if something bad is around the corner? Like, I need to watch out. But I'm just like, no, how about we just feel good and be in this moment for what it is and not think the rug's going to be pulled out from underneath me. So I want to allow myself to feel good and feel good feelings, even though, you know, when something good happens, sometimes I go to like the things that in my life that aren't so perfect, where I'm like, well, I still need to work on this. So maybe you shouldn't be this happy in this moment, which is so ridiculous to me.
Madison.
So I just want to be fully present and be like, no, be happy about this. Yeah, those other things are not working out right now, but that's okay because this thing is cool and you need to feel joyful.
Yeah. Oh,
I know.
that's something that you introduced to me too, is like pre-morning something.
Yeah,
Oof.
I know it. Sometimes it, yeah. And
It
I
can
read this in a book.
It
Yes.
can deepen your awareness or your presence,
Which
with
is
it.
when it's good. You know, when I think about my dad's dog, he's 8 now and he's my favorite dog ever. And forever, he will be the love of my life in terms of dogs.
Yeah.
But I just think, you know, sometimes when he's out there, he's walking and he's looking cute, I just think, okay, he's going to die. So let's, you know.
Wrap your head around it.
Yeah. And be really grateful for his presence right now. So that's helpful to me. But yeah, when I don't let myself be as happy as I could be, I think that that is just really ridiculous and it steals joy from life. But I did read it in, you know, it's not some concept that is obviously unique to me. And I was reading it in Call Me By Your Name, and they were talking about like borrowing. This is a lot of R's for me. Borrowing sorrow, like from later, so that it's like less of a blow later.
Okay.
And in the moment you do that, and I was like, dude, that is me
That's
to
you.
a T.
Yeah.
And not that I necessarily like that. I just, that is a pattern of mine, and I kind of want to rewire it a little bit.
My next one is slowing down.
Always a heavy hitter.
We've probably done like 4 episodes on slowing down before.
Dude, we could, but then we've talked about this, that there's a lot of value in repeating these things over and over because it is a practice. I can't just decide I'm going to do something and then from here on out, it just, all right, I'm this way now.
Yeah, this is me.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, exactly. No.
Yeah, slowing down. I think I have a tendency to push pedal to the metal, go, achieve, be productive, get it all done, high achiever. With time, chunk it out, pace yourself.
I like to take the long way.
Take the long way home.
Slow down when you can, because there's moments where you need to be quicker pace if you're especially not on your own schedule, obviously, but making room for slowing down for sure.
Yeah, and sometimes slow is smooth, smooth is fast, right? So if you're rushing through everything, there are so many mistakes that you make. So if you can slow down a little bit, peel back, you're going to get more consistent results. Or I don't know, like I'm thinking about something work related.
Right.
Where it's just like, if I rush through this assignment or I rush through this project, I'm probably going to make mistakes. But if I just peel it back like 10%, take my time, breathe, have a snack, I'm probably going to do a much better job at executing this.
I would agree with that. I think about that too, is like I've always cheered a fast-paced life on, and I've wanted that for myself. And now that I have been more aware and I've been actively slowing things down, it's pretty great too. And I even think about in terms of like a very rudimentary example of working out. In yoga, I go to, you know, power classes, heat classes, whatever. But I've been going to slow flow recently, and there's so much value in that too. Or like people are like, is that even a workout? And I'm like, abso-fucking-lutely it is. Like it forces me gently to slow down during class, and I gain so much from it. And it's actually very challenging because you're holding poses for longer and you're moving slower when typically you want to rush through it because you're like, fuck, this is hard. Let me just get into the lunge right now. It's like, no, slow it down and focus on your form. I just love it. Oh, it's a sexy feeling. Yeah. So good job. Good one. Okay. I can just rattle these off. I feel like being very comfortable with myself and like unashamedly doing things that like I like, and being excited that reading is my hobby and that I like watching shows like Game of Thrones and things like that. Just like being like voicing that and feeling like proud of it. Like I don't need to like hide any part of me. That. And doing, this is the last one I have on my list, is doing one thing every day that makes me feel like a kid. And I like that.
What's one?
One is, I mean, I think it's like, I keep going back to reading because it just like is so pivotal in my life, but that makes me feel like a kid because I have a very robust imagination and it makes life better. It makes it more fun. So
Cool.
yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
My last one was just being kinder to myself. Like I'm like really observing the way I talk about myself or my life or things like that. I'm just like, what's with the judgment? What's with the criticism?
Mm-hmm.
How is that helping you? Let's not.
Yeah.
Find other ways to channel that energy.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, great one. I was talking with someone yesterday and I was talking about how women's cycle, like when you're aware of where you're at on your cycle and then you're like in your luteal phase, it's the last couple days leading up to your period and you sort of feel like, I don't like what I'm seeing in the mirror. Like you're just way harder than myself or on myself. And they're like, well, how often does that happen? I'm like, literally every month. Mm-hmm. Like it just is that way. And then you think, all right, periods around the corner. This is why this is going on. Mm-hmm. It's fine. Dude, cycle syncing is it.
It's like a
knowing where you are. I swear to God.
Like a guide.
Yes, that we've had all along, but I didn't know how to tap into. And now I know. And now that I know, there's no stopping me. Like, let's fucking go.
She becomes the next like cycle syncing guru.
Dude, I could. People be like, she's a freak. And I'm like, yeah, I am. I like it.
It's not freak. It's in tune with nature.
Yeah. It's just a little freaky, but I'm down.
Yeah. Okay. Our last segment, if you will.
Yeah.
We're talking about seasons. And what does that mean? Seasons of the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Really left him off on a cliffhanger there. I didn't know. Okay.
And I think there's a lot to say here, but we'll keep it like relatively simple.
It'll be short and sweet.
Yeah. We get through seasons where we feel really creatively driven and super connected to our like mission. And then there are moments when kind of like our outside world, if you will, takes precedence or like really requires a lot of attention and energy. And balancing the two is something like we're really trying to learn. But in this time where we've got, you know, people coming to stay with us for a month and like our living room is our office and our like studio, a wedding, work, travel, like this is a really busy external season for us. We have to make decisions that feel right by pausing or like putting the podcast to bed for a month and a half and then waking it back up when we feel like, okay, we got that, back to this.
Yeah. And basically we've been talking about having seasons of our podcast for as long as we've had a podcast because we didn't really know, do we do it every week? Like, what is it? But now we're in a new rhythm that we want to honor because we took a break last year and it was really helpful. I feel like we came back stronger. And instead of just like taking random breaks, I think we want to make it more regular so that listeners and we know when it's go time and when it's time to just, okay, we need to regenerate our ideas and, you know, focus more on Instagram and just posting and showing our lives versus having our podcast be the only thing that we post about.
Totally.
Because we want to be a brand that encompasses all of us and not just our podcast platform. So this is our idea with seasons. And we don't know exactly how it's going to look, but this will be our last podcast until the first week of November. And so I think that we'll probably do, you know, 3 to 4 months on or something and then 2 months off.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to be really helpful because like I'm excited. Like I have a plethora of notes on my phone because I just have ideas like all fucking day. And just in order to like rack that up and not feel the pressure of like, but you need to get this done by tomorrow. It's like, no, you have 2 months. I'm not going to procrastinate on it because I do it every day. So it's going to be great.
Yeah. Quality over quantity. I think in the beginning when we were launching our podcast, in order to be like competitive in this field and to really provide value for ourselves and the world, we need to show up every single week. Like that's honorable. Come on, show up every week. But then that's really at times ignoring the fact that like there's so much else going on. And sometimes internally where you just need
A moment.
a little room to process your thoughts and figure out, okay, what do I have to share with the world this week?
Yeah. And I think that now that Tess and I have accepted that this brand of ours is for the long haul, like it's a long game, you know, like at first we want to do it every single week because we're in a rush for this to like take off. And now we're definitely more lax with it of like, well, let's just see where this goes and like what resources we can push towards this versus like we need to be the next big internet sensation, you know? And we were so hungry at the beginning, and of course we are still now, but things are just like shifting where this feels more sustainable versus before we didn't really have that much going on in life.
No,
You know,
life
so-
was so different when we started this brand.
So it was easier to show up every single day, and you know, we kind of didn't know what the fuck was going on, and we
let's
just
do a
like
recipe
had
today,
guests on.
and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
let's interview this
We were
person.
kind of just like trying things on for the moment and seeing like, well, what would get views or what would people like, and now we're just like, well, we're just doing what feels good to us, which again is way more sustainable, and I think that that'll be really beneficial.
Yeah. Very well
So
said.
that's our explanation. Thanks.
Yeah. So I know you're gonna miss us terribly. I know.
I know, but we are.
But you're not gonna. It's
planning.
not gonna be MIA.
No, we're
like,
gonna be more active. Like this is our challenge to ourselves. More active on social media. Just, you know, stories,
just be,
pictures.
like present in that way. So if you are a listener of the podcast and you don't follow us on Instagram, that's how you're gonna stay in touch with us the next like month and a half. And then, you know, we'll come back first week of November. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Fucking rumble. We'll have a lot of stories because there are a lot of events happening within the span of those months. So
yeah, be fun to share.
Yeah.
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 Well, I feel like that's it for this episode.
Yeah, that was good. Good job.
What are we even at?
We did a good
Whoa,
one. We almost got an hour. This is good because this is the finale of this season.
Which is like season 1.
Yeah, this is season 1.
Almost like 100
almost like
episodes.
200 episodes. Oh, no, because we had the break. So you're right. It was
200.
a lot of. Yeah.
I said 100.
Because we did have a break, but I don't even think it was 100. We could say this is just the first season was almost 200 episodes. Whatever.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Yeah, thank you for
Stay in
listening.
touch. Shoot ideas over if you have any. We'd love to incorporate them into the next season.
Yeah, and if you're not following at the Conscious Cowboys on Instagram, you got to follow that. Yeah. So anyway, talk so soon.
Yeah.
First week of November,
yeah.
actually.
Okay,
Relatively soon.
Bye, you guys.